It was 1937. And amateur filmmaker Walter Langer celebrated his wedding by making this short film. Langer and his bride were exactly the kind of Germans Hitler wanted more of. Industrious, politically enthusiastic, and most importantly, Aryan. Women like Mrs. Langer were encouraged by the Reich to have as many children as possible. Because if the Third Reich was going to achieve its goals, it didn't just need better Germans, it needed more of them.
In the eyes of our beloved leader, the mother is the most important person in the nation. We are Germany's hope in the future. And it is our duty to breed and rear the new generation of sons and daughters.
This female division of the Hitler Youth was filmed hiking outside Munich in 1937. Participation was mandatory for these girls, who were required to document that they were Aryan and free of hereditary disease.
Dear Mother and Father, in our camp there are 48 girls. Near us is a boys' camp. We see the boys very often and mend their clothing as we spend the evenings with them. A funny thing, of these 48 girls, 35 are pregnant. And still funnier, I'm one of the 35.
Upon learning of her daughter's pregnancy, one girl's horrified mother rushed to the camp to investigate and discipline her daughter. The 16-year-old replied hotly that if her mother did not go home and leave her alone, she would report her to the camp leader, who would in turn report the mother to the Gestapo, who would then take action against her for sabotaging German motherhood.
Here's a bulletin from Vienna. Chancellor Hitler termed Austria the latest and greatest addition to the German Reich. A hysterical roar of cheers today in Vienna. The crowd was described as one of the greatest gatherings ever assembled in the Austrian capital. Meanwhile, an unidentified man fired at Nazi stormtroopers from a window and then shot himself dead. Later, at a downtown cafe, a man got up from a table, shouted Heil Hitler, and then stabbed himself.
It was the 12th of March, and Hitler was taking Austria. The treaty that had ended World War I forbade the union of Germany and Austria. But the majority of Austrians wanted it. As one foreign newspaper observed, if Hitler was raping Austria, then the Austrians liked getting raped. Overnight, the German Empire had grown by 5 million citizens. Within days, 70,000 Austrians would be sent to concentration camps.
Nazi songs and Nazi salutes everywhere. The city is a sea of swastika flags. When did they manage to sew all these huge swastika flags? When did all our nice neighbors obtain their swastika insignia? What happened?
As I write, an immense flight of bombers is droning past overhead, as though these planes were flying against a world power. You, up there, I hate you. I do not know if I will survive your downfall, but this I do know. This is a caricature of Germany. Smeared by a malignant ape escaped from a leash.
It was the summer of 1938. And celebration was in the air. Here in Munich, the Third Reich was preparing to celebrate the Nazification of German culture. 200 miles north, in Leipzig, Walter Langer and his wife were celebrating their birthdays. He turned 40. And she 30. And in the nation's capital of Berlin, Jewish journalist Bella Fromm was also celebrating.
When I found myself outside the American consulate, the American visa in my hand, I had to sit down on the stone steps